Hey everyone, Metaverse Philosopher here again. Today we're going to be talking about the 2025 Apple WWDC Apple Vision Air rumors. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, WWDC stands for Worldwide Developer Conference, and it's Apple's annual way of communicating the next big updates to its developers regarding its major products. So we're rumored to have some substantial updates regarding the Apple Vision Air, which is supposed to be the successor to the Apple Vision Pro. So again, the Apple Vision Pro came out around February 2024 at a $3,500 price point, and the Apple Vision Air is supposed to be the successor to this model, but at a much lower price point and a lower specs and lightweight version. So some of the biggest rumors that we've heard about the Vision Air from some of the supply chain leaks that we saw, according to Mac Rumors, is the Vision Air is going to be in a full midnight black version, so different from this aluminum gray that we see for the Vision Pro. It's going to be made out of titanium, which is a material that's more dense than aluminum, so there might actually be less of it required to make the form factor for the Vision Air. And we saw, again, like a midnight black charging cable image. So instead of this gray version that we have here, it's totally black, it's sleek. And then actually the the shadow seal looked a little bit different in some of the leaked photos as well. So a few additional items that we've heard about the Vision Air is it is not going to have this outer camera and sort of visual screens that the Vision Pro has. So remember, there was sort of this feature for the Vision Pro where you saw people's eyes if they were actually in the pass-through mode, but it seems like that feature wasn't really that important or wanted by a lot of the Vision Pro community. So they're opting to remove that entirely, and that'll actually save on a lot of costs. So again, the Vision Pro is around $3,500, and the rumor is that the Vision Air would be closer to around $1,500, and probably the computing chip either could be the same as the Vision Pro or it could be an M5 as well. That wasn't really clear in the rumors. I'm pretty excited for the Vision Air, I have to say. I think I'd be very curious to see if they downgrade some of the fidelity of the lenses on the inside. I think the lenses, the focals are the most important. What I like most about the Vision Pro is the 4K view. I really haven't seen anything in VR of this fidelity before. I mean, just like look how realistic this Vision Pro model is right here. And shout out to Beautiful Things. They did a very good job of rendering this in this 3D space. You can actually see they even included a reflection gloss of what the environment should look like relative to this Vision Pro model. So you can see this moon environment reflecting even as I move it. You can see the distortions are being captured accurately. So I think that's pretty cool, just as a shout out. Now, in terms of my wish list for what I'd like to see from the Vision Air and the Vision Pro, the Vision line moving forward, I think my number one ask is that Apple needs to make the developer experience better for the Vision product. So right now, you have a few options to develop for the Vision Pro. So number one, you can do the Apple native Reality Composer Pro, which is not too bad. It's like $100 a year to be an Apple developer, but you know, this Reality Composer Pro really was meant more for mobile and less for sort of these immersive 3D experiences in terms of interactivity. So I've seen a lot of the most popular Vision Pro apps actually go the Unity route. So again, Unity, for those that don't know, is a game engine software that's out there. It's great. I have a lot of experience with it. You know, just as a hobbyist dev, kind of exploring different prototypes. But in order to get the Vision Pro toolkit, you have to pay, I think, like $2,000 a year, which is really tough. So, you know, you could also go the Unreal Engine route, which I know actually the Marvel games in Vision Pro are made from a fork of Unreal Engine. But again, there's not a lot of documentation around Unreal Engine in general, particularly for optimizing games for VR and Vision Pro. So I think if Apple could do something with Unity or some kind of package for, devs that are bigger than bigger than hobbyists, but maybe less than AAA, actually having the budget to be able to meaningfully develop for these products. Because I think that's the biggest challenge of Vision Pro right now, is a great piece of hardware, but the app market and the developer community is a little bit stifled just because of the cost barriers that are associated with it. So that'd be my number one wishlist item. I think number two, I'd say if they could do something to make this light seal mechanic a little bit more seamless and a little bit less bulky, that'd be really nice in terms of the form factor. I think that, it definitely does a decent job just covering your eyes, but I don't really like how this clicking mechanic from the computer hardware itself to the light seal works. I've actually seen a few people or heard about them dropping the Vision Pro because they pick it up by this light seal and then just unclick. So, something a little bit better from that form factor standpoint would be nice. And then the last kind of wish list item I'd say, and Apple's starting to do this a little bit more, is what could we do to move the compute to a standalone desktop or piece of hardware? And I think that's sort of my biggest question with VR that I've been thinking about for years at this point is, people have always been saying we need to get these glasses smaller and smaller. We need to get it lighter and lighter weight. But at the end of the day, like, how are you going to fit a GPU, CPU chip, combined for Apple, as well as a RAM stick, hard drive, power source, all these things? Like, at the end of the day, how are you going to fit all these things into a lightweight pair of glasses? Like, I've built a computer before, many of you have. That is a lot of hardware. Like, you think about how big a PC is when you're doing PC VR. How the heck is that going to fit into something so lightweight as a pair of glasses? I've always been a big proponent of, I think the end state VR product that will really see take off in the market is going to be very small, very lightweight, and much of the processing is going to happen in a standalone device. So Apple's already doing a lot of this with some of the kind of pairing that you can do between the Vision Pro and either a Mac laptop or a Mac desktop. So we've already seen that some of these things can happen if you want like the multi screen display, especially in 4K or higher resolutions. But I think that longer term, that's sort of how these devices are going to work, is you have what you wear and then you have some of the processing that's being offloaded to a different device. And actually, regarding Apple Vision Air, I only saw these rumors on Reddit, but the theory right now is that in order to save on costs to get it down to that $1,500 price point, they're going to do a significant offloading of a lot of the compute to a cell phone or to a laptop or desktop is what I heard just on Reddit. So take that with a grain of salt. But yeah, overall, I'm definitely excited to see a lower cost product for Vision go into the market because it'll become much more mainstream. So we'll hear soon regarding WWDC 2025. All right. Thanks so much, everyone, and see you next time.